Hello, Joe here from Way Scarff Ford and Isuzu, and today we're going to talk about this 2023 Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive. Let's dive in. Yes, we're a Ford store, we're a Isuzu store, but we're also a used car store. We sell actually more used cars than we do new vehicles, including lots of EVs. We have pre-owned EVs, and of course we have our own fantastic products, the Mach-E, which I'm very partial to. You can find lots of videos of that on our YouTube page. But let's talk more about this 2023 Model 3 rear-wheel drive. So the Model 3 rear-wheel drive for 2023 is basically the most affordable version of the Tesla you can get. This one has a standard range battery pack with a fully charged range of about 260, 270 miles. It has a single electric motor, making it rear-wheel drive. Also one of the most efficient forms of the Tesla you can get. Being rear-wheel drive and having a smaller battery pack makes it lighter. With electric cars, weight's your enemy, so the lighter your EV can be, the more efficient it is. So this will be more efficient than an all-wheel drive one, and even though it might not have as long of a range as a long-range version of the Model 3, since it doesn't have to carry around that heavier battery, it's going to be much more efficient. Do you really need a 300-mile or 350-mile range every day? Because guess what? People say, oh, I don't want to have to wait for my car to charge 20 minutes to drive an EV. Well, guess what? If you own an EV, 90% of the time, or like me, 99% of the time, when I charge my car at home, so it doesn't take me 20 minutes when I get home and pull into my driveway to plug my car, and it takes about 2 seconds, or maybe like 5 seconds. And then you wake up, and the next morning it's fully charged. And what it costs you to charge your vehicle to 80% or 100% overnight is about what people pay for about a gallon of gas. So what someone pays for 1 gallon of gas at the gas station, for what it costs you in utilities, you can fully charge your car for the same price. And we've seen what gas prices are doing lately. Who knows if they're gonna go up or down? Nobody really knows, but I've owned an EV for about 4 years. I have a 2019 version of this car. It's been great. I bought it with about 30,000 miles. I have 75,000 miles. It's been very low maintenance. I haven't had to spend very much in repairs or maintenance over those years. So not only is an EV gonna save you on gas versus electricity, it's also gonna save you money on maintenance. All right, let's dive in and talk about this more. I have a tendency to ramble on about these Teslas just because they're so different. Toyota Corollas are fantastic. I started my automotive career at Toyota, but Toyota's Corollas are fairly simple. I can talk about one in 5 minutes. This one's just so different. It might look like a car, but underneath the skin, it's pretty much like a supercomputer on wheels. It has a trunk, it has a hood, it has wheels, a steering wheel, a horn, but aside from that, the functionality, what powers this vehicle, the way it works, is far different than most other cars. We don't have an engine up here, we have a frunk. Since we don't have an engine, it allows for more space. It's also a safety feature because you have all the space to absorb crash energy in a frontal collision. Beautiful shade of blue with Teslas. Basically, gray is free if you want to buy a Tesla, and any other color is going to be extra money, between $1,500 and $2,000 more. This one has some nice tinted windows, all season mats. This one has 33,000 miles. Still covered under factory warranty. With Tesla, you get a 4-year, 50,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty, and this one is an 8-year, 100,000-mile warranty on the battery and drive unit. So that's basically your powertrain warranty. That's covering the electric motors that power it, and it's also covering the battery pack. But the jury's out. Tesla's been out for a little while. The Model 3 has been out since 2017. So now we're seeing Teslas with 200, 300, sometimes 400,000 miles on them, still in the original battery. It's actually turning out that EVs, Teslas, are lasting longer than gas cars. We're a car dealership. We take cars in trade all the time. I can take you over to the bullpen where we keep all our cars going to the auction. Most of the time when cars have over 100,000 miles, they just have too many problems. We sell nice used cars with not a lot of issues. We're not going to spend thousands of dollars fixing oil leaks, check engine lights on old, falling apart cars. And a lot of cars, they tend to start going south after 100,000 miles. There's some exceptions. But EVs, since you have dozens of moving parts, thousands of moving parts, there's just far less to go wrong. And a battery and electric motor is fairly simple. I was just reading this review. This one gentleman had a Model 3 with 270,000 miles on it. 2019 standard range, just like mine. Works great. You have a little bit of battery degradation, but most of the battery degradation happens like in the first 30 or 40,000 miles, and it stabilizes. And there's people with 200,000 miles on them that still have 90% battery capacity. I can tell you a gas car with 200,000 miles on it, it's not gonna make all the same, it's not gonna make the full horsepower as it when it was brand new. It's probably lost a little bit of compression over the years. Nice big trunk. You generally have more interior space on a Tesla in an EV because you don't have drive shaft, gas tanks, and things like that. You have a more wide open floor plan, and we have a sub trunk under here. Lots of cargo space for a small compact vehicle. No exhaust system, no gas tank, so more storage. Also a good amount of interior space. M652, I got lots of headroom, lots of leg room, generally more space than you find in most compact vehicles. We have these nice glass roof panels that allow natural light inside, kind of elevates your mood. In our winter climate, we have overcast skies. It's nice today, but when it's kind of dark and dreary, the more ambient light that you have coming in just kind of makes you feel happier and elevates your mood. One of the best seats in the house, though, is the front seat. We have these nice, comfortable zero-G seats that are very, very comfortable. Wireless charging pad. We can see that there's not a lot of buttons and knobs, and that's by design. The Tesla has a minimalist philosophy. The best part is no part. The fewer parts you have, the fewer things to go wrong. The majority of the functionality is in the screen. This one also has a nice little screen cover on it. This screen has a depth to it that you won't find pretty much in any other vehicle. It was like it was designed by Apple. You can program the vehicle, and it's not that hard. There's 140 different voice commands. Once you get the hang of it, people say, oh, well, I like hard buttons and knobs. I don't have to go through the screen to do everything. Well, guess what? When you have hard buttons and knobs, they're there forever. This is infinitely reconfigurable. Tesla's constantly pushing out over-the-air updates, adding functionality, adding features, improving it. Just like your iPhone. You could have an iPhone that's 4 or 5 years old, but with the iOS updates, it gives you new features, and it helps keep your phone relevant so you don't feel like you have to get a new phone every year or two. Same thing with Teslas. Even though my Tesla's a 2019, I don't have everything. I don't have all the features that this has, but I have a lot of the same stuff, just like this one. Even though this is not a brand new 2026, it still maintains a lot of features. Tesla has an amazing supercharging network. This one has to get hooked up to, so basically to do that, you have to add a credit card to your account, and then that will give you access to the supercharging. You just pull up to a charger, plug it in, and it'll be automatically billed. Generally, a supercharging session can range anywhere from like $8 to $10 to the high point of $20. That depends on the usage of those certain superchargers. So if you want to avoid the most expensive ones, it actually tells you the price per kilowatt at all these different superchargers. You can pretty much travel anywhere in the United States by going through these superchargers. This has a Tesla trip planner. You don't need to, so if you're going to drive somewhere and you know you're going to need to charge, you don't need to plan ahead. The car will plan for you. You just put in where you need to go, and it will make sure you have enough range to get there. It will not take you somewhere and leave you hanging without enough range to get back or to find a charger. It will warn you. It'll do everything it can to let you know, hey, your battery's getting low. You need to charge now. So you just put in where you want to go in the Tesla trip planner, and it will figure it out. It'll tell you where to charge for, how long to charge for. It's fantastic, and no other EV that I know of has a trip planner. We have autopilot, which is traffic-aware cruise control of steering assist. Full self-driving is available for $99 a month. I use it every day. I've probably driven like 40,000 miles on full self-driving, and it's getting really good. This has the older self-driving computer, so it's not going to drive as good as the newer Teslas with the full self-driving computer 4, but I have this old computer, and it's good enough for me. I have about a 10-mile commute each way. I put in home, I put in work, I put in, the grocery store, wherever I want to go, and I just sit here. All it requires me to do is stare at the window, and the car does the rest. It changes lanes, it goes around slow-moving traffic on the highway, it stops at stop signs. If someone's, crossing the street in a crosswalk, it will stop for them. There's a camera right here making sure you're paying attention, but like I said, just as long as you stare at the window, you're not spacing out, you're not on your phone, it will drive you. And I can't tell you how nice it is. It's like having your own personal chauffeur. I don't mind having to pay attention, but not having to think. For instance, my wife wanted to go to this new store, Five Below, in Federal Way. It was like a half-hour drive to get there. I didn't know what to do. I just put it in there. I was just paying attention, but I didn't have to think about where I was going. Oh, I need to go this way or that way, or traffic's this bad. The car did it. Next thing you know, I'm just talking with my wife, and we're there. And I can tell you, there's all these people, well, I don't want to have a car to drive for me. I like driving. No, you don't. There's probably a lot of people back, in the days when the Model T was just coming out that saying, oh, I love my horse. I can just put my horse in the field and it eats. I don't have to put expensive gas in it. I don't have to crank it up. But obviously when the cars came out, pretty quickly, the horse industry took a nosedive. So who knows what full self-driving is going to do to the future. I think eventually, Tesla is very close to perfecting it for worldwide release. And I think when that happens, Tesla's going to license that out to anyone who wants it. If Ford wants to license it from Tesla and put it in their vehicles, they will. Mercedes, Rolls-Royce, Bentley, of course they're going to want to have full self-driving. I think, Tesla has cracked the code, and this is just my opinion. I wouldn't trade stocks or go make purchases based on this, but I think Tesla is the leaders in full self-driving technology, and we're going to see it go worldwide in the whole entire automotive world. There's some other car companies trying to develop Tesla, but it's like a 100-yard race. And it's like a 100-yard race, and Tesla's at the 99-yard line, and everyone else is at the 1 line. Tesla has like over 1 billion miles of full self-driving data. No one else has that, and it's all about the data. Who has the most data has the most information to train their AI computers and get this stuff perfected, and Tesla's got it. They played the long game. They started doing this a long time ago when people thought it was ridiculous and that never happened. And one day, all those people that were naysayers, and they're going to be like, "Whoa, what happened? Oh no, we don't have it. What are we going to do?" Well, what you can do is you can get a Tesla like this with full self-driving and be driven around. And look at all those other poor people in stop and go traffic, having to steer at the wheel or driving in dark on the highway in a dark, rainy night, with, gripping their wheel. Oh, I can't see. The car can see. It's got cameras all the way around it. Never gets distracted, never drinks and drives, never fights with its spouse, never falls asleep. That's why this full self-driving is far safer than human drivers. Even though it's not perfected yet, it's like 10 times safer on average than a human driver. It averages like 1 accident for every 6 million miles driven on full self-driving versus 500,000 miles. For a lot of people, aside from all this other cool stuff about this Tesla, they should be buying it just for the full self-driving. Aside from everything else, aside from being an EV, you have all this other cool stuff. You have like the dash camera. So this is constantly always recording around it while you're driving, while it's parked. So if someone vandalizes your car, it's on camera. If you get in a car accident and it's their fault, it's on camera. You can actually, even after Tesla gets in an accident, you can actually request all the telematics from Tesla, very detailed telematics about your accident, to help maybe get you out of a situation where you might be at blame for it. We have Grok, which is AI for your computer. I've just started using Grok. I like to use all the different AIs. I use ChatGPT, I use Gemini. They had a deal on Grok, so I've been using it for the past couple of days. I use it, to this video you're watching, Grok has helped me with the SEO, has helped me with the thumbnail photos, so it's very helpful in the real world. It can also be helpful to you in the car. It can give you information. You can play games of it. It can quiz you. You can work on a foreign language, and it's just getting better, and it's just getting more integrated with a vehicle. Pretty soon, you'll be able to say, "Hey, Grok, you see that building on the left side with the yellow flag? Tell me what company owns that building." And Grok will be able to see it on the car's cameras and be able to tell you that. That's not there yet, but it looks like it's coming. If not in 5 or 6 months, maybe in the next year or two. All right, so then you have theater mode. You need premium connectivity. It's $10 a month. It basically gives you a cell phone data beamed to your vehicle, so you can stream music. You can stream movies. You can't do this while you're driving. Maybe eventually you will be able to with full self-driving, but we're not there yet. You can use it. This is great to pass time while you're supercharging. Maybe riding on the ferry, your spouse is inside shopping, and you're just waiting in the car. All great ways to pass time. You can play games. Some of the games, like this driving game, you can actually use the steering wheel and brake and accelerator to drive the car in the game. You can get like a Bluetooth style controller, Xbox style controller to play some of these games. You have the toy box where you have a selfie booth, paint shop so you can change your avatar, Santa mode, favor the kids, the car can play a light show, the farts, the boom box where you can talk to the horn, change the sound of the horn. I can go on and on. And the great thing about these Teslas, when I bought my Tesla, these Model 3s, they were so hot and there weren't that many. They were like $50,000 in the used market. Now you can find nice late model, low mileage Model 3s like this all day long for under $30,000, in the mid-20s depending on the options, year, and miles. Sometimes right around $20,000 for older ones. And they've proven to be very reliable. So you're going to save money on maintenance. You're also going to save money on gas versus electricity, especially if gas getting like $5 a gallon. I know some people that what they save in gas, switching from like a V8 car to a Tesla, what they just save in gas covers their car payment from just what they're saving. Isn't that reason enough? I mean, that's insane. So EVs, Teslas have finally gone mainstream. 4 or 5 years ago, it was like more for the bougie, more affluent people that could afford, you know, $50,000, $60,000 EVs. Like my friend sends me this meme. He hasn't got it yet. He keeps on sending this meme. He just posted on Facebook the other day. He's like, I bought a $60,000 EV because I want to save money on gas. Well, guess what? EVs aren't $60,000 anymore. You can buy EVs for $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. EVs cost just as much as gas cars these days. He probably should have an EV. But anyways, that's another long-winded spiel about Teslas. Thanks for watching Way Scarff Ford and Isuzu. We sell new Fords, new Isuzus, and a very wide variety of premium vehicles. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.